Hi, I'm Amy Hannon, and nothing thrills me more than people and food. I'm a preacher's wife, a mom of 3, and I own my own specialty kitchen store. I've kept an open door and a well-stocked fridge, which means I have fed a lot of mouths over the years. So now y'all come into my kitchen. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome to Cooking Today. Glad you're here, as always. Today, we are making this really great weeknight dinner that my mother always made for us growing up. It is a Mexican grilled chicken stack. This is so simple, y'all. It is great for weeknights. It's great for weekends. Like Saturday nights, you know, just kind of something easy and light. And who doesn't love Mexican food? We love it. Y'all love it. I know that you do. And a lot of this has, as always, a couple of shortcuts, some pretty easy things from cans, like these black beans. And then we're going to actually make our own homemade salsa and homemade guacamole. So a little bit of elbow grease, a couple of shortcuts. And we are going to have a really awesome Mexican weeknight dinner that I feel certain that y'all are really going to like, and your families are really going to like it too. And it's a really great way to use some of your leftover things. I mean, like, sometimes we'll just have a can of black beans in the pantry, or we may have, you know, sometimes we buy that big long package of chicken. We only have a couple of them left over. And this is a great way to, you know, kind of use up some of those things. And I don't know about y'all, but we always have Rotel in our pantry. So this will be something that y'all won't even have to go buy very many groceries for. So let me tell you what we're going to do to get going. I had 2 cans of black beans. You can get the ones that are plain. You can get the ones that are seasoned if you would like. And I'm going to just put these on low on the stove and let them warm through so they get nice and tender. There's a lot of liquid on the top of black beans, so I don't rinse them because I like that gravy that's kind of on them. But I do kind of rinse just that top little bit of the liquid off of the top of the beans. Then what I've done to kind of season them a little further, make them our own, is I had 1 package of taco seasoning, you know, the little packets, and I just scooped out a tablespoon of the seasoning. You can do a teaspoon, a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, whatever you want to kind of make that seasoned up the way that you would like. And I stirred them into the beans just to give them a little extra flavor. So I'm going to put these on a burner and let those get nice and warm. Now, also what we have on our stove, these are all the good Mexican things. You're just going to love it. Minute rice, like something really quick. You need 4 cups of it all together to make your 4 servings. So this is a dinner for about 4 people. So I have that pre-measured. That's easy. Just follow it according to your instructions. I have that on the stove right there. So isn't that simple? Quick beans, quick rice. We're going to do something kind of fun to the rice in just a minute, so I can't wait for you to find out. So we are going to make our homemade salsa. We did this one other time early in the year last year, and I actually have had people say it is my favorite salsa recipe, which thrills me to pieces to hear that. So I thought, you know what, for all the newbies, we're going to make this again real quick so that you can see how simple it is and how delicious it is. Okay? This is actually the salsa is actually my mom's recipe too. Look at her go. And I've kind of doctored it up just a little bit. But ultimately, this is hers. Okay, you need a big can, 28-ounce can of the whole peeled tomatoes. My favorite brand, just personal favorite brand, is this San Marzano, if you can find that. But there are all kinds of different brands, but you want the whole peeled tomatoes. They come with tomato sauce all over them, which is great if you're going to make like a spaghetti sauce, but we don't want your salsa to taste like spaghetti sauce. We just want it to taste like tomatoes. So I actually drain these and then rinse all the gravy off of them, that good thick tomato sauce, because in this instance, we don't want all of that. So we just have the tomatoes, and you want as little liquid on the tomatoes and in your cans of Rotel as possible. We don't want this to be watery. We're gonna add lime to it, so we want that to be our liquid. Okay, so I've drained 2 cans of Rotel tomatoes, which are, that's the brand, but you know, diced, chopped tomatoes with diced green chilies, so whatever brand you like. Then we're gonna add a little splash of vinegar, which just kind of helps preserves it a little bit, kind of helps with the color. And then here are my seasonings: salt, sugar, and cumin. We're just gonna dump those in there, and you can get them, that's actually just a teaspoon of each, that's simple. But you can get the full recipe on our Facebook page or our website. Then I have 1 lime. And you know the key to getting all the juice out of a lime that you can is for it to be room temperature first, not cold, because it's just not gonna be as loose on the inside. So we're gonna have a room temperature lime, and then we wanna roll it on the counter really hard with our palms so that it kind of breaks all those little sacs on the inside and you get all the good lime juice. We have lime we're gonna add and a couple of other things. We're gonna finish up our salsa when we come back, and we're gonna start on our guacamole. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. We are making a really easy, loaded with flavor, weeknight Mexican grilled chicken stack. And basically what we're gonna do is make a really pretty plate loaded with all of our favorite Mexican flavors that is so simple to make. And everybody in your household will probably love this, really and truly. We're making a base of kind of a Mexican rice with some seasoned black beans and then a yummy piece of grilled chicken that's got melted cheddar all over the top. Then we're gonna top it with homemade salsa and homemade guacamole, and then red onions, cilantro, lime, all those things that we love. And it makes it super simple to make. The salsa you can make in advance and store that. The black beans come out of a can. I mean, a lot of really simple things that you can feed your families a really great Mexican weeknight dinner. This is my mom's recipe. She, as a matter of fact, made this for us our whole lives growing up. And then, I mean, she still makes it. Like when we go home, this is one of her things. It's one of her favorites, and I think I just dropped all those, but that's all right. Pick them up, rescue, search and rescue for the shallots here. So she still makes this, and it's really good every single time. So let me tell you, we're making our homemade salsa. You can absolutely buy your own, which makes this recipe lickety-split fast and even easier than it already is. But homemade salsa is a winner, and it's really good, and it keeps in your fridge for quite a while, for probably a week or so, 2 weeks. At my house, homemade salsa doesn't even last that long because we eat it for like after school snacks, and we pull it out late at night, and we eat it on eggs and just about anything else. So I've never had to really test the limits of how long fresh salsa stays in your fridge, but it's really good. So we did canned big plum tomatoes. We did 2 cans of Rotel drained. We added a little bit of seasoning, a shallot chopped, a couple cloves of garlic, chopped lime squeezed in, and then I'm gonna do just a little cilantro. This is to taste. My son Isaac has like laser vision and like can spot out like the cilantro in the salsa jar. He'll be like, I see cilantro. I'm like, child, it is a classic Mexican flavor, so you're just gonna have to get over it. It's really good though. I would load that up with cilantro. It's one of my favorites. So you can just do it however you want. And then just put it in your blender. Okay? Super easy, right? Now I'll tell you, it looks orange like tomato soup right now. My kids always say, that must be a fresh batch because it hasn't developed its color. We pour them into jars with lids and put them in the refrigerator. It needs to set up and the color will develop and it'll get rich. If you wanted to add jalapenos to this, you certainly could. But for me, the 2 cans of the Rotel make it plenty hot enough. So there's your homemade salsa. Wasn't that simple? Y'all need to try that one. You're gonna love it. Okay, Now, what we're gonna do is make our guacamole. Oh, wait, let me tell you a couple things. We have our beans, remember? Our beans are simmering. Let me see if they're moving around a little bit. I'm gonna turn my heat up. The beans are simmering. Our rice is cooking, quick rice. We have a couple chicken breasts in a Ziploc bag. Again, we're not even making a homemade marinade because this is weeknight. This is simple. This is Italian dressing, zesty Italian dressing. We're just marinating some chicken that we're gonna throw on the grill. Easy. And then, I think that's everything we have going. That's everything we have going. So what we want to do now is make our guacamole. And it's a pretty simple recipe. I have not shared it here before. People have asked me. I am of the school of thought that, you know, don't fix it if it's not broke. I think there's supposed to be a double negative in there somewhere. Don't fix it if it ain't broke, I think is how we say it around here. So I don't really try on this recipe to reinvent the wheel. I just make a really classic guacamole for this recipe because we don't want the guacamole to be so loaded with flavor or anything crazy that it takes away from everything else. We have a lot going on. However, I have a cookbook coming out and there is a loaded guacamole in that cookbook for like an appetizer that you would just put out with chips. That is over the moon good. Over the moon. Bacon and goat cheese and all kinds of stuff. It's delicious, y'all. So, for today, we're gonna go classic. And then all I like to do, oh, my avocados are a little firm. Doesn't that break your heart when you go to the grocery and you need one? As a matter of fact, I had a conversation just yesterday with a lady at the grocery. We were both feeling every single avocado, and none of them were just ripe enough. And we were both really sad about it. So I am gonna work on these avocados. We have our classics, a little bit of cilantro, our grape tomatoes, a shallot, our garlic, some Tabasco, some lime. Easy as that. I'm gonna keep working on this. When we come back, we're gonna start putting it all together. I'm gonna show you how it all comes together to make our good Mexican stack. This is cooking today. Hi, welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're making a weeknight Mexican grilled chicken stack. This is a meal that my mom made for me growing up. She still makes it when we go home to visit. It's really easy and it's really, really good. It's kind of one of those crowd pleasers. Now I am making one today. We're gonna plate one, but the recipe actually makes enough for 4. So what it is a really yummy rice base, some seasoned, we're stacking it, that's why it's called a stack. Some yummy rice that we're gonna doctor up in just a second. We have some seasoned black beans that we seasoned ourselves, then grilled chicken with melted cheddar, and then all the good toppings. We made homemade salsa, which you should really have in your recipe repertoire and have it in your refrigerator. It's just really, really good. We're making homemade guacamole right now. We're gonna season up our sour cream, just kind of do some fun little things along the way to stack a pretty plate full of all of our favorite Mexican flavors. So our guacamole, we've done a couple of avocados that were not terribly ripe, so I had to spend a lot of elbow grease mashing those bad boys. We added in a shallot, we're adding in some garlic, we chopped up a couple of tomatoes, and then I'm adding in a little bit of chopped cilantro. You do not have to do that, but it's what I put in mine. Few dashes of hot sauce to taste. Lime, of course. You cannot have good guacamole without a squeeze of lime, which I've already put in. There's my salt. And then here are my dashes of Tabasco. And then we're just gonna let that sit a minute. This is a great tip for guacamole. It always browns, doesn't it? And that's everybody's grief with guacamole. There are all kinds of tips and tricks on keeping it fresh, like dropping the pit back down inside there. I don't know about you, but I have never had that one work at all. So what the deal is it's the air that's touching your guacamole. I'm gonna leave my spoon in there. That's touching your guacamole that actually turns it brown. So, excuse me, if you will, pull a piece of cling wrap or clear wrap. We have this cling, this is the stuff that's at Unimaze, it's good stuff. And lay it over your bowl, okay? And then, instead of leaving it open like this, we're not wanting to put it on the bowl, we're wanting to put it on the surface of the guacamole because we don't want air on the avocados. Does that make sense? So we're kind of sealing it. So I just gently press that clear wrap right down onto the surface so that the air is not able to get to my avocado. See that? And that'll do it. Then when you're ready to eat it, you just pull that right off and you're good to go. No browning. How about that? Got a little on my finger. Okay, so we have our chicken marinating. We're gonna throw that on the grill in a minute. We have our black beans that we have simmering on the stove. We've got about 4 cups of cooked white rice. And instead of having to go through the trouble of making like Spanish rice or buying one of the boxes or whatever, we have our salsa. And I've already jarred some of it. And so what we want to do is add about a half a cup of our homemade salsa to our rice to make basically like a Mexican rice. Isn't that easy? So I guess this is probably about 3/4 of a cup. If you want this saucier and redder and more tomatoey, you can absolutely add more in. That's up to you. But this is just about right for me. Look what that looks like. See, we're making our own little kind of Mexican spicy rice. And it's gonna be our base layer that we're gonna top with our beans. So we have stirred that in. I'm gonna cover it so that it stays nice and warm while we grill our chicken. And look, we have all of our bits going, all of our layers. Seasoned, spicy salsa rice, our seasoned beans. Our chicken is marinating. It is about to go on the grill. We made our salsa worth every second that you spend on it. And then we made our guacamole. And then finally, I just have about a cup of sour cream. You can always just do plain sour cream, but why would you? Why won't we just add a little something to it? So remember when I had my taco seasoning packet, I told you I took about a teaspoon, tablespoon out and put it in our beans. We're gonna do the same with our sour cream. Spice it up a little bit. Give it a little good kind of warm orangey color. This is probably about a tablespoon. And then I'm just gonna stir that in so it kind of seasons it. Isn't that super easy? Then we'll have our chopped red onion, a couple more tomatoes, some cilantro, and we're just gonna make this beautiful plate. We will do that when we come back. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. We are just wrapping up a really great weeknight Mexican grilled chicken stack. All of our favorite Mexican flavors, lots of shortcuts. Serves about 4. You could probably stretch it out just a little bit more if you wanted with, you know, chips and salsa and all that kind of stuff. Delicious. We're gonna plate our layers. We've made our yummy seasoned rice with just quick cook rice, something super simple. And then we stirred in our homemade salsa. Remember we made our homemade salsa and I jarred it so that the color would develop a little bit. So we're gonna do our yummy salsa tomatoey rice on the bottom. And I ended up tasting that rice and adding a little bit more of my salsa. I told you, you can kind of do it to taste. It's awful good with that salsa in there. Then we seasoned our own black beans with some taco seasoning and we let them cook down really well. Gosh, I could eat these black beans just by the spoonful. They smell so good. Look at the color already. Isn't that fun? because the rice is kind of pinkish, which I love. Then we've grilled our chicken. We just marinated it in store-bought Italian dressing or whatever is your favorite. And then as it came off the grill, we topped our chicken breasts with some shredded medium cheddar. We want it to have a little bit of kind of tang and good stuff. And then we made our homemade guac, and we let it sit for a little bit with the saran on the top, remember? And y'all, then at this point, we just kind of load it up. Look, I'm gonna do guac right here on this side and let it fall down. We're gonna stir in a little bit of our salsa that we made. I'm gonna put it on this side and let it spill over. Then we made our seasoned sour cream, topped with some fresh chopped tomatoes, some red onions, cilantro, whatever else you've got. And you have a beautiful Mexican grilled chicken stack. Perfect for a weeknight. Everybody is gonna love it, I feel sure. This is cooking today.